Rally Towel Sports family, good evening and welcome to the show. Happy Thanksgiving. First and foremost, just want to thank all of you guys, week in and week out. You guys continue to show up. Doing these picks is something we've been doing for quite a few years, and I feel like every year we continue to add more people to it. And it's just so much fun for us to just sit here, shoot the breeze, make some picks, talk some shit, and have you guys be a part of it. So from the bottom of our hearts, we are forever grateful for you guys and being a part of this community.
Hell yeah, it's dope. I mean, we would be doing this shit anyway, right? Like we would just
Yeah.
be rattling off picks to each other, talking about bets. So it's really cool to get different perspective and have, people, that we know, people that we don't know, or through mutually through somebody. Like it really is a pleasure for all of us to spend time with you guys, and for you guys to spend time with us. You don't have
Take
to,
time
but
out
you
of
do it
your
every
days.
week. Yeah, we really do appreciate it. It's
Here.
we do this. It's for fun, but at the same time, like,
we get a lot
we
out
just
of
appreciate. Yeah, we do. We really do. It's something we talk about a
lot. Pops, thank you for popping through and liking the video. As you guys know, Tez is a big member of the community. He's also leading in the picks. I did not have a chance to do standings this week with the holiday, and obviously being in a different venue, didn't have an opportunity to do standings. But he's going to take time out. He had to put his down of 16 years, and big hit to the Goodwin family over there. So, Tez, I don't know if you're gonna be able to swing through tonight, but we're all thinking about you, brother.
Yeah, dude. Sorry to hear about that. It's not easy. That's a family member.
Yes, sir. Good old Rocky. What a legend. He was always chirping in the background. We're playing Warzone and shit like that. And I know that he pretty much had him for most of him and his wife's marriage, and up to this point, obviously they're still married, but it's just like when you guys, like you and Mary got a dog, like it's that same thing.
Family.
Like, yeah, it's a family member. So hope you're doing well. I know you're spending time with the family, so if we don't see you tonight, we're thinking about you. Before we dive into the football and everything, obviously Corey's gonna be joining us here shortly. First time back in quite a few weeks. He's dealing with the little man that he just had. He's a little over a month old now, so I think Corey's finally going to try to dive in a little bit and come back. So definitely happy to have him whenever he does join us this evening. But I want to talk a little baseball before we dive into picks. We had some big things happen in the last week or so. Jonathan India got dealt. Obviously, Jonathan India, what a big member of the Reds community for the last few seasons. And but we're getting a pretty solid prospect in return. So, Todd, I'll let you dive into that.
Yeah, man. So it's Jonathan India and Joey Weimer, who they got in the trade with the Brewers last year for when they dealt Frankie Montas for Brady Singer. Oddly enough, Brady Singer and Jonathan India won a national championship together at Florida. So kind of a unique, just the coincidences that happen in the baseball world. I know a lot of Reds fans who like the Reds, right? And I'll explain this a little bit further. We're really upset to hear about Jonathan India getting traded, and just kind of for the reason that you said, he's kind of the last piece of that 2020 puzzle, right? Like when we saw them, where we all thought they were going to make a legitimate run in the COVID season. He was the last piece of that was really left from that roster. Obviously, Friedel played some, but not really. I mean, India was an everyday starter. Obviously, NL Rookie of the Year when he joined the Reds roster. But here's the thing, dude, and I know you and I have talked about it, and I'll share my feelings on here about it.
Sure.
He wasn't going to play every day for the Reds. He was not. He played every day last year because Matt McLain was hurt. That's legitimately
that's the problem. That's the problem that the Reds have, is like their middle infield is so crowded right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a ton of talent, but like it's extremely crowded. And the fact that we can deal somebody like him and get somebody that's going to round out a part of our team that we need desperately, like, although it hurts the heart, it's a good deal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, as a Reds fan, it's hard to see somebody that you're comfortable with leave, right? Anytime that happens, you're disappointed. Just like when Jay Bruce left. Everybody was devastated when Jay Bruce left.
Yeah.
Right? Just like Joey Votto signing with the Blue Jays. Everybody's like, why?
Like even when
Even
Josh
you and I kind
Hamilton
of,
left, like
yeah, right. When he went to the Rangers, you're like, oh shit, we're losing this guy. It's terrible. But the thing is
Todd
that what you
Frazier.
get back, yeah. But what you get back in Brady Singer is
Yeah.
a real legitimate rotation arm. Rob,
Yeah.
happy Thanksgiving to you too, dude. Babe. Appreciate you being in here,
Yeah.
always coming in and
Happy
supporting us.
Thanksgiving, everybody. Love you
Yeah.
guys.
But you're getting a, second, third starter in the rotation, possibly second starter in the rotation, just depending on honestly where Nick Lodolo kind of lands
Yeah.
coming out of spring training with dealing with injuries. An innings guy, which, I looked up the stat. The average start for a Reds pitcher last year was just under 5 innings. So 4 2/3 innings, let's call it.
Ooh.
That's rough. That's
Yeah,
rough.
that's not
right?
great.
So Brady Singer pitched about 180 innings last year over 32 starts. That gets him to about 6 innings a start, which is over the league average now. Not a big strikeouts guy. The only downside I can kind of see with him pitching in Cincinnati is he does give up quite a bit of home runs. Obviously, Cincinnati's probably the third. I think it's the third most home runs in baseball come out of Great American. So you're going to take some of that. But the counter to that is he pitches to contact. And I think the Reds with McLean and Ellie have a top 5 middle infield.
For sure.
In terms of defense. So, if they could pitch to the middle of the infield, I don't feel so great about the corners right now. But if they could pitch to middle of infield, I think he's going to do just fine. And obviously they picked up, Nick Martinez picked up his club option. Rhett Lauder came in and pitched in September and did very, very well. They still have, obviously they paid Hunter Green last offseason. You still have Abbott to pitch kind of in the middle to the back end of that rotation. So right now they have 6 starters.
Yeah.
And I think the thing we've seen really over the last 3 years for the Reds is that they're having, because of the lack of innings from the rotation, they have to go to their bullpen a lot. More almost third most in baseball last year that the Reds did relief pitchers pitch more than 4 innings.
Yeah.
Right. That's third most in baseball with the Reds last year. So getting a guy like Singer who gives you 6 innings doesn't require you to pitch, I don't know, Buck Farmer 85 times, or, Ian Gibalt's not back, but somebody like that. They don't have to pitch 80 games with him.
It helps keep the bullpen fresh, which is going to, obviously pay dividends towards the back half of the season. So,
yeah. And we kind of saw what happens to Diaz as the season went on. He had some really, really significant ebbs and flows. There were weeks that he would string together where he would be the best closer in baseball, and then for a month he'd be the worst. So ideally, you get another guy. Also, just for what it's worth, Brady Singer, 32 starts, 18 quality starts. I think that's a big number. That's an important thing to make a note of. Still with an 8-12 record, having 18 quality starts, I think that's pretty important to note. That's at least 6 innings, less than 5 runs. So, I like it a lot. I think some people are disappointed with, again, losing Jonathan India, but what they're getting back from Brady Singer is an additional 2 years. And India was going to be gone after this year no matter what. He's a free agent. He was not going to re-sign with the Reds. So you get 2 more years with Brady Singer. So
Pop's coming to the comment. Do you approve of the new leadership package? Absolutely. Terry Francona coming into the Reds. That's a fucking home run and a half. That's the best manager that we've had since probably Lupinella, in my opinion.
I think Jack McKeon was a good manager too in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, Jack's good too.
He's a World Series winner as well. But so I think the big thing, and I work with, my company's based out of Columbus, so there's a lot of Guardians fans, and the thing with Francona is that he's not a big small ball guy, right? He's not for being kind of the old school of head coaches in baseball. He's not a bun him over, knock him in kind of guy. He wants offensive production. And the reason why he brought Chris Vallejo with him, and I think this is an important piece of it too, we haven't really talked about it. The Reds were, former utility man for the Reds, Chris Vallejo, and for the Indians. the Guardians did not strike out a lot last year. The Reds struck out a lot. They had 3 guys in the top 10 in strikeouts last year. And now we've talked about it pretty extensively. That's the nature of baseball. It's kind of getting in that direction where it's kind of all or nothing. And obviously that's a big part of Ellie De La Cruz's game.
Yeah.
But Chris Valaika is not going to come in and teach these guys how to hit for contact, but what he's going to have them do is be more aggressive at the plate. I can speak on Will Benson. I think Will Benson's probably the most frustrating Reds hitter, taking a lot of first pitch fastballs at the bottom third of the lineup. I think that's outrageous. Like, you're batting ninth and you get a first pitch fastball, you should swing. You're not a leadoff hitter. This isn't situational. Just get on base.
Yeah.
So Chris Valaika is going to coach that a lot. Terry Francona coaches that a lot. He's a very aggressive coach, which I think is vastly different from David Bell. I think David Bell was very timid to make big game decisions, whereas Terry Francona is not afraid of that at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without further ado.
Oh, shit. There he is.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
What's up, fella?
What's going on?
Thank you for being patient, letting us scratch that itch and talk some baseball.
Oh, dude, I'm glad you guys are leading this off. Pour a little vino here. Cheers.
Let's get it. I have a little bottle of wine next to me as well. I've got it popped. I'm not as brave as you are just to pop that thing on camera. My skills aren't quite to that level.
And in a white shirt.
Yeah, I'm timid with the corks.
Oh, I'm assuming it's a nice red. Is it a?
It is.
You doing a Pinot or are you doing a Cab? What are you doing?
Yeah, so we're doing a beautiful Cabernet, a little Cab Sav, Cabernet Sauvignon. It is the Stag.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a nice 2022.
You guys really want to treat yourself? Get you a little Miami Pinot Noir.
I almost got a bottle of Camus this evening.
Dude, Miami Pinot Noir is my favorite. It is like $20 a bottle, and it is like best bang for your buck. 100%.
So I'll just quickly comment here because I've been kind of itching to talk. Being up here in Detroit, I don't really get to talk Reds baseball with a whole lot of people.
Yeah,
nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah, we can dive right back into that for a second.
Jonathan India was my favorite player on the Cincinnati Reds. I'm a Florida Gator fan. So I got another Gator.
Yeah, that's the first thing I said. I said they won a national championship together, right?
Yeah.
So
that makes the sting hurt less. Also, I don't know. Correct me. I mean, so here's how I view it. The Reds had a loaded infield of young talent. They are getting top end for Jonathan India at this current moment. The only way that a trade gets better for the Reds with Jonathan India is if he becomes a perennial all-star. That's the only way his trade value goes up, right? So I think that the Reds front office maximized the trade value for Jonathan India, and albeit with the Dodgers continuing to bulk up as of today.
The fact that they got Blake Snell just pisses me off.
That was yesterday.
Did you see how much they paid him?
Yeah, they paid him 160 or 70 million.
But yeah,
no, that's $182 million over 6 years.
What up, Tez? That's crazy.
Mr. Goodwin, thank you for swinging through, brother.
Outside of that, Lululemon.
Oh, they're also in the running for Juan Soto. Just want that on the record.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me a whole lot, to be honest with you. I mean, it just
makes me sad.
That's Major League Baseball, unfortunately. But what I was going to say is, for a team, especially a small market team, literally poorest franchise in baseball in the Cincinnati Reds, top to bottom, starting rotation, bullpen included, the Cincinnati Reds are quietly putting together a top 5 rotation in baseball, or pitching staff, not rotation. Sorry, pitching staff in the National League. Sorry, not baseball, in the National League.
Yeah,
I think the depth that exists in this pitching staff going into this next season is extremely impressive. I feel the biggest question mark for me in regards to this pitching staff moving forward is Nick Lodolo. That is the biggest question mark. Can he do a
Sure.
Hunter Green year? Right? Hunter Green became a potential Cy Young candidate.
Yeah, he's an all-star.
The middle and back end of this season. Can Nick
Yep.
Lodolo do that? Can he take that next step? Obviously, he's a year behind Hunter, so he gets that. I think he's afforded that leash, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I love the trade, honestly. I think it's a really
It's a good trade.
line.
It's a good trade. All
Jonathan India go. I hate
top
it.
to bottom. It sucks to see him go, but it's a good thing for the franchise, and
It
we've
is.
got a great coach coming in, and we got a lot of young talent in the infield. And if they can
Yes.
stay healthy, it's going to be a great thing for everybody.
Right.
Yeah,
and Corey, my point too, when I was kind of talking about it, is that Jonathan India wasn't going to play every day. So you said it, strike while the iron's hot.
They're going to DH him, you saying?
No, they weren't. I don't even think he
No,
would.
I just don't think he was gonna. He's probably gonna play like maybe 2-3 times a week tops. Like, wasn't gonna play every day.
I think Spencer Steer did a very nice job of being a DH for the Reds last year.
Facts.
I also, for what it's worth, I don't think the Reds are done in free agency. I think they're actually going to go get another outfielder.
Maybe
Tyler O'Neill. I'm thinking Tyler O'Neill. That's where my gut tells me.
You're replacing Will Benson.
Red Sox. Right. So
you're making Benson a utility player.
Right. He is an outfield. He is a defensive replacement. Sometimes he gets to play right field if somebody needs a day off. Right. I've had my spiel about Will Benson. I'm not. He's not an everyday guy. Unfortunately, he's
correct.
That pretty quickly.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're gonna do a quick 3 rounds, boys.
Hey,
do a quick.
Never mind. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm jumping ahead. Go ahead. I'm just excited to be back, man.
I know it's been a minute. How's the little boy doing?
Little man is doing great. For those of you that don't know, I have a 6-week-old son. That is why I had my little hiatus. Carter Ransom James. He is a absolute fucking unit.
Fuck yeah.
I've been telling him every night as I feed him his evening bottle before he goes to sleep that you will tackle the quarterback whilst behind the line of scrimmage more than any man that has ever lived. And I tell him that, just manifest that. He's going to be the NFL sack leader one day. And just keep that going. But no, I mean he's literally.
If that happens, I will wear whatever jersey it is, even if it is a Bengals jersey.
Boys, I'd hope if he even just goes to D1 college football,
I would wear
you'd wear his jersey.
I would wear it.
Absolutely.
You're goddamn right. I would wear it.
The most important thing, he's happy and he's healthy. And honestly, we are very blessed. At 6 weeks old, this little dude sleeps from like 11 to 6. It's
nice.
Nuts. It's nuts. Because my twins didn't do that.
Yeah, definitely did not do that either.
Yeah. No, we're blessed. We're blessed, man. He's doing great. He's doing great. Appreciate you asking. So what are we about to draft some Thanksgiving food?
Absolutely. We're gonna do a quick 3 rounds.
Just sides?
Yeah, we can just do sides.
Yeah.
There's no point to do mains. I mean, everybody knows.
Where do you guys stand on turkey?
So that's definitely. I mean, it's a main. It's a main. It has to
but
be.
where do you stand on it?
White meat only. That's it. I'm not a dark meat
the exact
guy.
opposite.
Okay, so that's fair. You are. There are two sides.
So I mean, I bat for both teams.
You just like putting meat in your mouth, man.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I'm not a dark meat guy.
So
I didn't grow up on it though. For what it's worth, my mom only bought a turkey breast for Thanksgiving. My mama only bought a turkey breast. Yeah. I didn't experience any dark meat.
Tell you what,
once
you have that dark meat, it'll change your life, baby. Let me just say that.
Todd, I also grew up in a white household, and then I had dark meat, and it was better.
I love you guys. All right, so we're gonna do this based off of standings. So Todd is gonna have the first pick. I have the second pick. Corey, you have the third pick. Snake draft, 3 rounds. Let's ride. So, Todd, you're on the clock, sir.
Perfect. I need no time. It's mashed potatoes and gravy.
Sure.
Good pull. Solid pull. You just took a left tackle first overall. I have no problem with that.
I know that I can build a really strong base.
Is it fair to take mashed potatoes and gravy, or can because I mean gravy I feel like is a side in itself.
I feel like gravy is a condiment.
Okay.
That's
So
where I stand.
Todd gets mashed potatoes.
Okay. So like I mean obviously you're putting gravy on it.
You don't.
but,
Yeah,
like,
you don't get a monopoly on gravy.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Because
because
gravy
that's
just
fair.
kind of goes on the plate.
Yeah, it's on the
okay,
plate.
that
Yeah,
was
it goes
gonna be
everywhere.
my argument there. Is like you
Yeah,
can't
okay.
just monopolize gravy.
Yeah.
'cause,
Does
like,
not
that's-
change my pick for what it's worth.
Yeah,
That's fair.
It makes sense.
That's fair. This could be a controversial pick for me because like mac and cheese hasn't always been at my Thanksgiving, so I'm not going to utilize that as a side. I'm going to go with the dinner roll.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I love dinner rolls, and
right.
Great combine.
I probably could.
Question mark
yeah.
for stability, but great combine.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, you can literally do anything with it. Like, you can literally put the corn in the mashed potatoes and then take the dinner roll and scoop it all up with the gravy on top and just shovel it. It's basically like the nacho chip of like a football day.
It's good.
Like,
That's a good analogy.
So
It
taking a
plays.
dinner roll.
No, it plays.
Call it.
Question: are desserts involved in this?
We're doing side dishes. We can
Okay,
do
so no
do a
dessert.
fourth round can be desserts if you'd like.
Okay. Or we can just honorable mentions. Just talk about it.
Honorable mentions.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay. So I got 2 here. Correct.
Yeah, you're back to back.
All right. Can't believe they slid to us at 3, but we're gonna take it with a smile on our face. We are going with green bean casserole here.
God.
This is an absolute elite.
I thought I could
dish.
get that. I thought I could get that off the one.
This is like Brian Branch sliding to us here as the Lions. We're taking.
It's hanging out at the draft. It doesn't.
The value is extremely high.
Extremely. That's great. That's like Dalton Connect dropping to 16.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, and he's dropping 30 a night. Yeah, Anyway, coming back around on the other side here, I got a few ways that I could go. But I'm going to go ahead and take it because of just pure deliciousness. Cheesy potatoes. I mean,
scalloped potatoes, cheesy potatoes, something in that realm.
As you can tell, you put it in a casserole dish, you bake it, put something crispy on the top. Your boy's going to probably put it in his face.
It's on the plate. It's on the plate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm going cheesy potatoes.
I know it's never been a part of most of my Thanksgivings, but I'm going to go ahead and take it. Give me mac and cheese.
Yeah, great pick.
Can't believe it fell to the 5 slot. But we're gonna go ahead and snag it there. Like I said, like you said, Corey, casserole dish. You can put a little cracker on top, broil it.
Absolutely. I am making the mac and cheese tomorrow as well.
Fuck yeah!
Nice.
Yeah.
Todd, you're up for 2.
Oh, perfect. So first pick for me is going to be deviled eggs.
Of course.
I mean,
you can have them. You can have them all day.
Todd, can I come?
Yeah,
I know you will.
Yeah,
I know you will. You love deviled eggs. I can't stand them.
I think
so good.
It's the one thing
you love them or you hate them. There's no in between.
Well, true, but if you go to any family function for a Thanksgiving or an Easter, those are out. They're very, very, very similar across the board, right? And you get 2. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, I got to go back for seconds. The next one's like, oh, I'm going to put 3 on here this time.
Just give me the tray.
And then you're putting the plate into the stack, and you're like, oh, there's 6 on this. There's 6 on the tray here. I'll just take 1 more, and then 1 more for good measure. Before you know it, you've eaten 4 eggs.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's 45 minutes later. You're outside.
You shit your pants.
Throwing the pigskin around. Uncle Todd's, I don't know, maybe all-time quarterback. And I'm like, hey, before we hike this thing, you pull this real quick. Just a quick pull. Good to go. So definitely deviled eggs for me.
You know what? You mentioned something there, Todd, grabbing the plate, going up to because deviled eggs are kind of like an appetizer a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm a habitual no plate appetizer I'm a grazer. I'm a habitual grazer
Okay.
for appetizers.
Yes, sir.
I'm that asshole at the family function.
Yeah, you're just
Just
picking.
hanging out.
You're just
Let me
you're,
grab
you're,
one.
you're just using the claws that God gave you, and you're just walking around
one.
just snagging.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm here for it. Absolutely here for it.
Man,
Final pick.
I know. Cheesy potatoes being gone really throws me off my game here. Fellas, it's a part of the mashed potatoes. I'm just gonna go straight corn.
Yeah.
Damn
It's
it.
a good one.
Just a really nice piece of the dish, right? I'm building.
It's corn.
The house is built, right? Like this, it's in the house. No matter, it's the bathroom of the house. You're gonna have it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on the plate. You got to use it.
So
give me corn.
Yeah, Tez going baked mac and cheese. Absolutely baked.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if you're doing it right, like you.
The only thing better than baked
the
mac and
saucepan.
cheese is baked mac and cheese while you're baked. That's the only way.
Just eating it right out of the dish. Too.
Yeah,
while
you
you're
start
stoned.
with you start with the little roux in the saucepan.
Yes.
You build it.
Mm-hmm.
You make the
Flour.
noodles al dente.
Cheese.
You throw the noodles in with that nice little cheese that you just created in the saucepan. You throw it in the baking dish. You pop it
Whole
in the
milk.
oven for about 20 with whole
milk. It has to be whole milk.
Absolutely. You sprinkle a little sauce on that, a little smoked paprika, whatever seasonings you like to add with that.
PSA chat. Don't experiment. Okay?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving isn't the time.
Just do it right.
Just make it the way it's supposed to be fucking made.
Yeah.
Yep.
And my last side dish is going to be exactly what Pops put in the chat. Yeah, some people call it corn pudding. Some people call it like cornbread.
Dude. Oh my
But like
god.
corn pudding, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm
It's a good
landing.
one.
That shit is amazing.
I get it. I made a decision between the
Pops,
two, and I went.
Pops
I just
does
went
a good
corn.
one. Pops does a good one. Just gonna say that
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
It's amazing. All right,
All right.
Corey, round it out. Last pick.
Final pick, and
Mr.
we're sticking with the theme here. We're gonna stick with casserole dishes here. We've got a lot of savory floating around. We've got some vegetables with the green beans.
Ooh, we can get some sweet in here.
Got some starch. Time to come on with the sweet, and again, cannot believe that she fell to us. Give me that sweet potato casserole, baby.
Yes, sir.
With the marshmallows on top, with the toasted. I'm just getting. It's just. Yeah, dude, I could eat a. And
Honorable
Paula
mentions
Dean's
for
recipe.
dessert.
Paula Dean's recipe, buddy. Shut your mouth.
She knows her way around the kitchen.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just go ahead and you fuck, marry, kill. Pecan, apple, pumpkin pie. Bobby, go.
Fuck. We're gonna kill apple pie. I know that's probably a very, very rude statement. We're gonna marry pecan, and we're gonna fuck some pumpkin.
Nice and soft. Good call.
That's my order. I'm just not a big apple guy. I'm just not.
It's fine, Todd.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry pecan pie. She's America's sweetheart. I'm gonna kill pumpkin pie. I'm gonna fuck that apple pie. I'm gonna do what American Pie told me to do.
Yeah, you're damn straight. We'll just tell your mother we ate the whole thing.
A la mode this dick.
I'm gonna marry apple pie. I'm going to
taking Todd's sloppy seconds. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck pecan, and I'm gonna kill pumpkin.
Fair. Yeah, I like that we were all different on that.
Here's the messed up part. If you put 3 slices of pie and they're all those, I'm eating every single slice on that.
Just a little Cool Whip all over it.
Little Cool Whip.
A little caramel drizzle.
So cool part up in Michigan, we've got a lot of apple orchards around here. So every year, early fall, we go and pick a bunch of Honey Crisps, a couple of galas mixed in there as well. Chop them up, make the filling. Katie makes 2 apple pies. We throw them in the deep freezer. One gets pulled out tomorrow, and the other one gets pulled out on Christmas.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so we're excited.
She make her own lattice. You need lattice in that thing.
Fred Meyer threw it down for us, and
Smart.
yeah, store-bought pie crust.
There's nothing
Hey,
wrong with it. I'm just asking a
Nothing
question.
wrong with it, baby.
Yeah, no,
Nothing wrong with it.
I'm not talking about
Hey.
the fucking Great British Baker here. I'm just asking.
Hey,
if you
when you're in a
get
pinch,
lattice on
Betty
that thing or
Crocker
not.
does wonders.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Great British Baking Show is a guilty pleasure of mine, Todd.
There's nothing guilty about it. It's a
Yeah,
great show.
You don't have to be ashamed anyway, shape, or form.
It's a fucking great show.
Just had to be in a safe space.
Yeah. It's the only thing that Declan will allow Mary and I to watch while all three of us are watching TV. He loves it.
That's awesome.
I can't wait. I can't wait to teach that kid to throw down in the kitchen.
Kid's got a future.
He asks very good questions about things that they make too. Like they were making, he was like, "What's rhubarb?" And I was like, "You'll never eat it. Don't worry about it."
Dude, have you had fucking rhubarb pie? Holy
I have.
shit.
It's good, but it's a pain in the dick to cook. I don't know if I'm ever going to get that complex.
I'll eat a whole fuckload of rhubarb pie. Oh my god, rhubarb cobbler.
I've never.
Dude,
I couldn't even tell you what it tastes.
good.
I couldn't even give you a comparison.
It's a whole different flavor profile from anything you've ever eaten.
So sweet. It's the sweetest thing you've ever tasted. It's so good, dude. It's so good.
I mean,
it's delicious.
Very good.
I'm down to try it.
Yeah, a la mode, baby. Let's go.
Little ice cream sizzle. All right, boys. Well, let's start off with these Turkey Day games here.
Wait, where am I at? What's the standing? I have no idea where I'm at. How far back am I?
I did not have time to do standings since I am not at my original juncture.
You're not in your office.
I'm not in my office currently.
You're at the North Pole, it appears.
Yes. So based off of last week, you are sitting in third place.
Dumb.
But I haven't done the standings from last week, so
it's like far back.
It's kind of where we're at. You're not far back. You're only a game off of me, but you are 11 games off of Todd. So realistically, we're just fighting for second place here.
Todd is just a freight train that can't be caught. Is that what I'm
correct?
Hearing?
Yeah, Todd's tearing it up, and he just seems like he can't be stopped at this point.
Todd, you've been talking to Mary a lot this year, it seems.
Oh yeah, 100%. Do we go over the games every Wednesday?
Yeah, a girl.
Yeah. Shout out to Murmur. Just absolutely.
We did have three variances tonight, so I am going to I'll play one of hers just for funsies to see what shakes out. But we had three variances on picks tonight. Her and I did.
Okay,
beautiful.
Rob coming to the comments saying we used to grow fresh rhubarb on the side of my house when I was a kid. Used to break it off and eat it like celery.
Yeah.
Where does
parents thought I was crazy?
He must be in the real Midwest, like either.
He's Chicago area.
Yeah, Chicago land.
Yeah, that's
that's
where that rhubarb
half
be popping.
hour, 45 minutes outside Chicago.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. That's the region for rhubarb.
That's good.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, without further ado, we've got the Chicago Bears taking on the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Kickoff Thanksgiving Thursday. What a football game that we're going to have on our hands, boys. Very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited to see what Dan Campbell and the Lions are going to do to the Bears. That's all I got to say. But I did not get Aaron's picks. I don't know if he actually sent them to anybody.
I got
you
them.
have them?
I got them.
Okay, cool. So please make sure you throw those in whenever you get a moment. But I'll go ahead and lead this one off. Can't bet against the Lions. Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions. Since they I don't know, I'm sure you guys saw the video. It's been going around when they were like 1-6 like 2 years ago. Like Dan Campbell is like, we've got the pieces. We've just got to figure it out. And since then, they've got the best record in the NFL since that week.
Very emotional on that speech, by the way.
They're 30-8, tied with the Kansas City Chiefs. So I don't see anything changing this week. You know, the Chicago Bears, granted, have played much better since making those changes on the offensive side of the ball with the coordinator. But man, I know David Montgomery is not exactly healthy. but him and Jahmyr Gibbs have been absolutely rolling. Jared Goff has not had to be the guy every week, and when he's had to be the guy, he has stepped up and got it done. So I don't see anything changing this week. I see the Lions rolling at least 10 points in this game. I don't see this game even being remotely close. So I'm taking the Lions. I'm going to pass it to Todd.
Oh, okay. So obviously the Lions have had some Thanksgiving woes. That does sit in the back of my mind as we kind of talk about this game. They have
2016, the last time the Lions have won on Thanksgiving.
Thank you. I
Us
was
girls tuning in before bedtime. Thanks, Katie. Good to see you.
Yeah. Hi, girls.
Hello.
Obviously, so last year they played the Packers on Thanksgiving. We all took the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And lost.
Can I pause real quick? For any Tez, Josh, Pops, anybody that's participating, can you please send me your picks individually to like my Facebook Messenger so I can put them in after the fact? Because it's kind of tough to go through the chat and then make everybody's picks like
just throw them in there and then send them to Bobby.
Throw them in there, but just make sure please throw them in the chat, but like also like write them down, send them to me after so I can put everything in. I'm not at my usual workstation, so I can't just update everything immediately. So please make sure that you write those picks down and send them to me later as well. So but please continue.
Sorry. Yeah. So I think the big thing is Thanksgiving that's an obstacle for the Lions to overcome. But I think the main thing that I've seen from them, specifically this year, is that when the going gets tough, they just fucking put their hard hat on and go to work.
Yes,
right?
sir.
I think that's the main thing I've seen from Detroit this year is that games that they shouldn't have won, they've won. The things that kind of put them behind in the last couple of years, weak secondary, inconsistent, quarterback play, not having enough enough real legitimate wide receiver options. All of that's kind of, I think, 99.8% been solved for the Lions. I don't know if the Lions get enough credit for signing Tim Patrick after the Broncos cut him. I think that's one of the best cut to signings that the NFL has seen this year. Just having that's an easy release valve that's really soft-handed that Goff can get the ball to when necessary. It's not happening a lot, right? I'm not saying that Detroit's utilized him and it's revitalized his career, but that's a good little safety blanket, right? Because we've seen numbers from Laporta go down a little bit, and there's more options. That's the way that this roster has been built. And then to couple it, I think that they made the best trade at the trade deadline for Zadarius Smith, right? Like he's come into this roster and everything has like culminated into this, like it's kind of win or bust for me at this point for them, right? Like that's how I see everything. And I'm sure a lot of people, Corey, and Detroit feel the same way. It's win or bust because this is everything, right? You have the best roster that you've had arguably ever, right? In terms of overall talent, obviously, and in the modern football era, let's say.
I mean, you could make arguments that they had a better team when they had Stafford and Calvin Johnson and Reggie Bush. Like, you could make arguments about that, but they didn't have the it factor that Dan Campbell brings, or they didn't have the depth that Brad Holmes has put into this roster. And you're absolutely right, Todd. I mean, the Lions should win the Super Bowl. They should win the Super Bowl. They absolutely should. Will they?
Ryan, thank you for the like, sir.
Is another discussion entirely, because it's the hardest championship in sports to win.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the NFL. Anybody can win anytime.
Sure.
You're one injury away always from your season being completely different. And so the Lions have rode that wave already with Hutchinson, but I mean, everybody is all go all the time here, and rightfully so. 10-1. How do you can't just shrug that off?
Yeah.
So you're telling me
absolutely.
you get one shot, one opportunity?
Sometimes.
So I think the big so my long-winded answer I've given here is that I think this is the next obstacle that the Lions overcome this year.
Mm.
They went on Thanksgiving again. It's been almost
Yeah.
10 years, but I think they do it this year. And
Lions.
it's not a knock on the Bears because Bobby's right. Since Shane Waldron has been fired, that is a circumstance where the offense was revitalized by getting rid of a toxin, right?
And
Caleb Williams.
I will say this, like, I have been a big Caleb Williams basher. Like, I have said on this channel multiple times, that dude is fucking trash.
Hey,
But
when he was coming into the league, I told you I don't want him as my quarterback. I said that.
right. And there are still elements of what I said that are true. But like in the last couple weeks, he's made some plays, he's made some throws that make you understand why like
he gets to be a quarterback.
People saw him as a legitimate number 1 pick. And
he's not he's
we're
not a
all
system quarterback. He's not. Right. That's the thing is that you can't take a guy like Caleb Williams and try to fit him into a system. You don't draft a quarterback at number 1 and say, all right, you're going to run my offense.
Yep.
That's bullshit. That's why Shane Waldron gets fired everywhere he goes. It's not good. He's not good at being an offensive coordinator in the NFL. It just happens. But I think the main thing, at least, since the firing that I've seen from Caleb Williams, that tells me that he's going to have some tenure in the NFL, is that he is not afraid to, and we saw it at USC a lot too. Like, he's not afraid to try to fit the ball in a tight window, and that time will come. The weapons are there. I think Rome Odunze is going to be a long. It might not necessarily be with Chicago, but he is going to have his cleats in the turf in the NFL for quite some time, barring health. I think that he really truly brings a wide receiver 1 talent to the NFL. And you couple that with a strong running game, and Chicago, based on history, they haven't been great at drafting offensive linemen, but they put something around Caleb Williams to keep him protected. There is something there in Chicago. It's not there tomorrow, but in the next couple of years, I feel like that we're going to be talking about them being a contender in the AFC or in the NFC North in the next couple of years. But tomorrow, I'm taking the Lions. It's crazy not to take them right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Corey.
This is from Aaron. He's saying, congratulations, Detroit. You have something to be thankful for this year. After years of being forced to watch the Lions every Thanksgiving, it finally pays off for the rest of us too. Start dinner after this game. Lions over Bears. Yeah, I'm with him here. I will say this is a bit of a trap game for me. Sure. I'm taking the Lions. Let me just be fully, transparent about it. I'm taking the Lions. This is a trap game. They have the Bills next week. So it's easy, which could be a Super Bowl matchup, by the way.
Right.
It's easy to overlook the Bears when you got the Bills coming into town next week. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, on to the snoozer on Thanksgiving Day. We've got the Giants taking things on the road to Dallas. We did have the opportunity for one of the funniest things on the planet to happen, and the Cowboys did not sign Daniel Jones. He obviously ended up landing with the Vikings, which we will get into later. But yeah, we've got the Giants were they're in line to start Drew Lock. So we've potentially got a Drew Lock, Cooper Rush showdown Thursday afternoon.
Hot. Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is the one where you're going to be going back for seconds. You're going to be taking your nap. You guys are going to be playing euchre or whatever spades, whatever card game that you guys play on your. This is going to be time for you to really get involved with your family. With this game on the television in the background and nobody's paying attention to it. And CeeDee Lamb, 50-yard touchdown, cool. And that's going to be it. That is going to be your Thursday afternoon, folks. So who wins? Who knows? That's what we're here to decide. So Corey, lead us off.
Aaron coming in, agreeing with everything Bobby says. Gross. Use this time to get in some family time or just take a nap. Fuck this shit. Cowboys over Giants.
Yes.
Well said, Aaron. Give me the Cowboys.
Cool. Corey, you taking the Cowboys?
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Okay.
Yeah.
Todd.
Did beat the Commanders last week for what it's worth. So I don't think I'm not saying that there's anything there. I'm just saying that's something we'll have to talk about here in a few games from now. But
Sure.
yeah, give me the Cowboys. Two game win streak. Congratulations, Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I would say my biggest. I mean, I'm taking the Cowboys this week, but my biggest conundrum is I'm in the last man standing, and there's not a lot of good games for me to pick this week. Cowboys over the Giants would be a good one, but man, there's just something about the Cowboys that I just
How are
can't
you
trust.
still in a last man? Can you pick the same?
There
team
there was a second buy-in.
Oh,
There was a
okay.
second
I was like,
buy-in. So
what?
everybody got
Fuck.
I asked him the same question. I was like, "How the fuck is that?"
Everybody got kicked out. There was like a second
Got it.
round of buy-ins
Got
like
it.
week 4 because the
Got it.
beginning of the season was just such a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, remember when the Raiders beat the Ravens?
I was like,
dude,
like
literally when the Raiders
17
beat the Ravens, like
Raymans.
160 people went out. Like I'm not even
Yeah.
joking. Like it was nuts. But yeah, so this is the only, like, you can only buy in one more time, and
Sure.
so this is one of them. There's obviously a couple games left that I can take, but it's just going to be tough. Obviously, a lot of divisional matchups this week. Seahawks Jets is probably the other game I would touch outside of like maybe the Buccaneers over the.
I wouldn't touch that either.
Yeah, so it's like Buccaneers are like a team I can take, or the Cowboys are a team I can take. The rest of them suck. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys this week. I don't think that offensive line is going to be able to protect whoever it is, whether it's Drew Lock or it's Tommy DeVito. Doesn't matter. Micah Parsons is going to have a fucking field day. That's just where we're at. So on to the evening game for the Thursday night slate. So after you're done waking up from your nap from this Cowboys-Giants disaster, we've got the Dolphins on the road facing Green Bay. Tua's back. Tua's healthy, playing some really good football. Packers, for the most part, are healthy. Josh Jacobs is rolling. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep,
Josh
right.
Jacobs. Sorry. I for some reason I got confused with the former running back that went to Minnesota, and I was just like, what the hell is happening right now?
I thought maybe you were confusing him with our government teacher, Dan Jacobs. That's where I thought you were going with that.
No, I was not. I was just like,
Okay.
I was like, wait a minute, Josh Jacobs, where's he's in Green Bay, right? But yeah, so two really good football teams. Granted, both are for the most part healthy. Todd, I'll let you lead this one off. Who you got?
Yeah, man. So we kind of talked about it last week. I don't think the 49ers are very good. So I don't really consider what Green Bay did against them as a quality win, as like, oh shit, they're here and they're going to contend. They are 8-3. So there's something to that, right?
Yep.
But you said it, man. I think Tua is back to being consistent. The offense is exactly what Mike McDaniel wants it to be. Because he has his quarterback in place that he built this offense around. But Packers are at home on Thanksgiving. It's going to be cold. Sounds like there's going to be some snow in that game, which obviously there's some. Yeah, so question marks around Tua playing in cold weather. He kind of addressed it and was like, well, we'll let the game speak for itself.
Sure.
I do think the Packers are the better team in this matchup based on where we're at right now. I think the main thing, and this is kind of get to where Corey's been over the last, I don't know, let's call it 26 weeks of football. I'm at a point right now where I'm not 100% sold on Jordan Love. I'm really not there. he doesn't do anything exceptionally well other than scramble. He's a very good scrambler, but he still makes and I think that I don't know if this is like the Green Bay way or what it is. Like he's
Yeah.
still turning the ball over at least once a game.
A lot.
Yeah. So and he's a habitual fumbler
he's not really
too.
taking good care of the ball.
Yeah. So that's going to hurt Green Bay over the next 5 years that his contract continues to play out because they're going to get into close games and he's going to make mistakes. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. This defense is a ragtag group for the most part, and it's a very good defense. I still cannot. I looked up his name and I cannot fucking remember the guy. I could tell you he coached at Boston College for the last few years, and now he's the Packers defensive coordinator. Handley, something like that. He might be one of the best defensive coordinators in football. It's not a lot to shut down, Brandon Allen, Kyle Allen, whoever it was that was a quarterback for San Francisco last week. But that game wasn't close
Brandon
from
Allen.
Yeah, thank you. That game wasn't close from kickoff, and he made sure of it defensively. So kudos to him. I think that's the best thing that the Packers have done in the last 2 or 3 years is get a defensive coordinator who's very competent. But give me the Packers at home on Thanksgiving. I think this is going to be a fun game, fellas. This is a good way to round out Thanksgiving is watching this game.
Yeah, so I mean, we obviously got a banger to start the day. We got the snooze fest in the middle. Everybody's gonna be taking their naps. Then we got a nice one to wrap it up. I'm gonna go on the opposite side of things here. I think the Dolphins are on a roll. I think the Packers are kind of on a downturn here. I'm gonna take the road team here. I like what Tua is doing. I think they're finally getting something going, barring any significant injuries. On the offensive side of the ball, I think the Dolphins get it done on the road here. I'm going to take the Dolphins.
This is a good split game, by the way.
Just on a flyer. Yeah.
I think the spread's like 1.5 right now. Last time I looked.
Corey.
He says, Aaron here.
Yeah.
Dolphins are playing good of late, but I'm going to take the people that like cheese over a porpoise on a eating holiday. Am I right? Fuck you, Dolphin. Packers over Dolphins.
That's what he said?
Yes.
Cool.
Well, he said, fuck you, Dolphin, but we know what he meant.
I know what you meant. I like there, but I just want to know. I want to know what milligram of edible he had when he made these picks. That's what I want to know. All right, so, it's up to you, Corey. You gonna let me lone wolf, or you gonna split it here?
So let me just say this. I have in our group chat, I told you guys what I said. It's like 5 weeks ago. I was like, me as I'm watching Jordan Love play football this season, and then I just sent you a screenshot of Vindicated by Dashboard Confessional. A little bit. Let me also just say this, okay? Jordan Love can still be good.
Sure.
Okay? That can still happen.
He hasn't really been like terrible, but he hasn't been great.
Right. And that was like what I feel like was lost in this whole thing last year, and I'm sure that I'm partly responsible to that. I've been known to be bullheaded a time or two.
No, not you.
Just a time or two, I said. But I think what was lost in all of that is like, I wasn't saying that he's bad. The thing, what I did say is that I don't think he win a Super Bowl, but whatever. My argument was mainly just like derived from like the same vein as the Mike McDaniel shit, which is like, can we just pump the brakes a little bit on this? Can we, before we just throw all these flowers at somebody's feet, can we just like chill out a little bit? Because, and I said the same thing with CJ Stroud. For the record, CJ Stroud coming into his rookie season, I was all about him. I thought he was going to be the best rookie quarterback. I was right about that.
Yeah, you were.
I also said, and Todd, Bobby, I think we all were on the same page that we felt like we were going to see a little regression this year. Also correct. I didn't. I said the same thing about CJ Stroud. Can we just pump the brakes a little bit before we just throw all these flowers at this guy's feet? He hasn't done anything. There hasn't been anything that's accomplished in regular season football. nobody gives a fuck about that. Ask Lamar Jackson, right?
So let me ask this question to you guys because I think this
Packers
is
are winning on Sunday or tomorrow. By the way, I'm taking
All
it
right,
back.
lone
So-
wolf, and let's fucking ride.
I'm just curious where you guys land on this. Is the I think it's like a hyper fixation on a quarterback come at like immediate greatness, right? That's kind of where I'm kind of getting
So-
at here. So
Where-
is it
Go ahead.
is it a thing where like it's the expectation, or are we in a position in the NFL where the disparity between who is truly great right now versus who is a good quarterback is so low? I think this is the first time in a while where there's three or four really great quarterbacks, and then there's a gap, a pretty significant gap, and then there's good quarterbacks.
So I don't know. I don't know that that's true because I'm thinking back, like back in the heyday, it was Brady, Manning, Rivers, Roethlisberger, Breeze. Like there was like that core group, and then it was everybody else.
Then you had the Mannings too. Like they were in that era.
Well,
The other
I said
Manning.
Peyton. I said
The
Peyton.
Well, I
other
meant
one, yeah.
Eli as well.
Eli was but like even when we were
He
in
was
the
a
middle of
turnover
it,
machine.
I don't think Eli was really ever thrown around in that mix when we were talking about top in the
Yeah.
league. You know what I mean? He was kind of the redhead stepchild. But what I think the whole thing with quarterbacks right now and why you're seeing all of this money get thrown around at guys that you're not really quite sure about is that there is such a disparity. And when you find a guy that you're pretty sure can get you there, you have to lock them down because it's just cheaper. And then structuring the rest of your roster is just so much easier after you've already
Okay.
solved that piece,
So-
right?
Right. So that's kind of where I'm getting at, is that money doesn't quantify talent anymore for the quarterback position.
Right.
Right. So like 3 of the top 4 paid quarterbacks, I don't consider to be in that echelon of like a top tier quarterback.
Right.
So I think people have to restructure their mindset of, hey, this guy makes X amount of dollars a year, he's going to be a top tier player. That's not true anymore. That's not the case. The point I'm trying to make is that we are in a position now, and Corey, you just said it, so you kind of we're I'm going to say the same thing, just a little bit different here. We're in a position now where your foundation has to be a quarterback, because these teams where it's not, I think San Francisco's probably the best example I can give of this right now. It falls apart so fast
Yeah.
that you go right back into a rebuild. So like Jacksonville, for example, they paid Trevor Lawrence a lot of money. He's had a hard time this year, but I don't think Jacksonville is going to rebuild again. I don't think they're in a position where they have to start over.
Just add pieces.
They're missing, right? They're missing pieces.
Yeah.
And the teams that have the top tier quarterbacks, and again, one of the teams doesn't reflect the record of where the quarterback is in terms of talent. It's
Best in the league.
There's not a point in the next 5 years where I see like, all right, well, we got to start over again. The duration of the contract is right. And I think people have to get out of this mindset that money equates to talent. Money equates to that you don't have to continue to start over and over again. This is just the piece that you can build around, right? And I think the Cowboys actually did the right thing. I'm not saying that I don't think Dak Prescott is a $60 million quarterback, but they paid their 2 best players. But now I think the problem they're going to run into is that they're not going to pay their 3rd best player, which is a shame. But like football fans have to
Talking about Micah?
understand. Yeah,
Come on to Cincy, baby.
I
Come on
know.
back to that
I'm telling you,
Midwest.
dude. I don't think he's going to come back after his 5th year option. I don't. I really don't.
Would come soft.
But I think the main thing is if you're watching football and you're trying to figure out why teams are paying quarterbacks so much money, it's because it's easier to build around a quarterback than it is to restart with a quarterback.
Fuck yeah, absolutely. And look at Derek Carr. Going back to we were talking about yesteryear, like with the Brady and Manning and Breeze, like Rodgers, that era. Matt Stafford at one point was the highest paid quarterback in football. He was not even a top 5 quarterback in football at that time.
Yeah, it's just easier to have a good quarterback and then give the pieces around that than it is like, look, I mean, Chicago is in perpetual fucking hell.
Yeah.
For 10 years.
If Caleb does this for 2 more years, he will be the highest paid quarterback in football.
For sure. Look at the Giants. Since Eli Manning has retired, they're in a fucking travesty. And now Daniel Jones is kind of the exception to my like broad point that I'm making here.
Yeah.
But like people just need to stop thinking that money equates to like success in the NFL.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Well,
it's
success,
a business.
Yeah, but just I got you.
Like you're not going to go to the Super Bowl every year. Which, like, really, like, if you think because Jared Goff got an extension, he's not getting the Lions to the Super Bowl. Now, he's a big part of making sure the offense works right.
Yeah.
But because they gave him an extension, that doesn't mean that he's, a top 10 quarterback. It just means that he's the right guy for the system.
I think Jared Goff is a top 10 quarterback for what it's worth.
Absolutely.
Okay, top 5 quarterback. Maybe top 5 quarterback.
Right. But yeah, Jared Goff is not on the same planet as Joe Burrow. They're just not the same. They're not the same.
They're in the same solar system, just not the same planet.
And it's a team game. So like to come out and say, well, Jared Goff's 10-1. No, he's not. The Detroit Lions are 10-1.
Correct. Yep.
The Detroit Lions are 10-1.
Yeah, it's like saying Joe Burrow's 4-7. That's not true.
Yeah, right. Exactly. His team is 100%.
Just put it in my hand.
Anyway, who's that? Who's giving you drinks right now?
My mother's giving me
Shelly,
fresh cookies out of the oven.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
What a lady.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mama.
That's the best thing about moms. They treat you sweet no matter what.
Yeah, no matter how big of a piece of shit you are, Bobby.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Scum of the fucking earth getting hot, fresh cookies out of the oven.
Oh my god, you're so good.
You didn't even pause between the second
leave
one.
The fucking plate here.
All right, that was my TED talk. I just want to bring that out. I got into a conversation with a coworker where he was bitching about like Trevor Lawrence, and I'm like, whoa, wait a second. So much. We had a really long tangent.
All right. Well, we spent enough time talking about degenerate quarterbacks. Let's move on to the Black Friday game, which we're going to spend as much time shopping as we will talking about. We've got the Raiders on the road versus the Chiefs.
I won't be watching this football game out of protest.
No, I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm sure everybody else does too, unless anybody has any opposition.
Yeah,
what's the protest?
I'm not gonna watch on Netflix. I'm just not gonna do it.
It's on Amazon. This one's on Amazon.
Oh, my bad. That's the Christmas.
Christmas is Netflix.
My bad. I'll probably watch this game. Actually, it's on Friday. What time? What time Friday?
3:00.
There's a big Mac game on Friday, baby.
There is.
There's a big Mac game going down at Doyle L. Perry Stadium in Bowling Green, Ohio. I'm
not even joking with you guys right now. She literally just left me the tray.
Bobby,
it's gonna be gone.
Bobby, just take a
Relax.
break. Just take a break, baby.
There's gonna be a sugar high and a crash.
So
in the next half hour.
BG Miami. I'm a Bowling Green alumnus. These two fuckheads are Miami alumni, and the winner goes to Detroit for the MAC championship game, and it's going to be one hell of a football game. Both teams have just stars all over the offense. The defensive line for both teams is really good too. It's literally the perfect matchup. If I could pick two teams to be in the MAC championship, it would be these. It would be these two. So whoever wins this game will absolutely fucking curb stomp Ohio in Detroit. I am very confident about that. Now here's the twist. There's always a twist. If Bowling Green wins and Ohio loses, we get a rematch in Detroit.
Next Saturday.
A lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun, and I might go. 50-yard line, front row, $25.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa.
What are we
That's
doing?
amazing.
What are we doing?
Yeah, take the wife, take the kiddos, have a fucking ball, bro.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs. This is
Yeah, this is not going to be a very fun game to watch.
Their head coach called them the worst team in football, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that. Antonio Pierce called the Raiders the worst team in football. That's fucking outrageous.
That is bananas.
I don't know if I'd argue that, but I wouldn't say they're far off. So,
Well, Dave O'Connell from here on out, Gardner Minshew's out for the season.
Yeah, well, he may have a point. All right, well, let's get back to the regularly scheduled programming. Sunday, 1 o'clock. I just wanted to make sure that it was an unadulterated pour. I didn't want to be talking over it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so first game on the slate on Sunday is the Texans on the road in Jacksonville. Divisional matchup.
Oh shit! I didn't give you Aaron's picks, dude.
I'm assuming he took the Chiefs.
Chiefs over Raiders. Hot take. Black Friday game is lame. We don't need 4 days of NFL.
I would argue that.
I get it, but like, I'm okay with 4 days of NFL. I'm 7 days of NFL. I wouldn't be mad about.
Right. Give me some action.
Yeah, that's where I kind of argue with that take. It's like, I would take a game every day of the week, just because. But yeah, Texans on the road in Jacksonville. Texans, for the most part of this season, we would say they've definitely regressed. They've struggled. Jacksonville, not even close to where we think they should be at this point, or maybe right where we think they should be. Depending on who you are. But I have a feeling the picks in this are going to be one-sided. Love to hear your takes on it. Corey, let's lead it off.
Yeah, Aaron coming in with Stroud, and the Texans have taken a massive step back this year, something we alluded to earlier in the show. Won't matter here, but we have to talk about it soon. This team is benefiting from a bad division. 2024 fraudulent enemy number 1.
Oof.
They are the green bean. Whoa, this is blasphemy.
Did he just say they're the green bean casserole Thanksgiving?
Of teams, is what he said. It's
all right.
Fucked up.
So
that's a cold take.
Chat, I'm gonna need you guys to take a quick sidebar. This is kind of us here. Guys, do we really need to have Aaron on the podcast?
I don't know. I think we need to talk about it just similarly as we're going to talk about the Texans.
Family meeting.
I mean, like
just a bad take, Aaron.
That's basically like saying you don't want mashed potatoes or collard greens.
Green bean casserole is I could eat that all year round.
Staple. It's a staple.
Yeah, it's a bad take for Aaron. That's
fucked up.
That hurts me a little bit.
You think he
all
knows?
Right, Chad, you're
sorry to hear. It's really unfortunate that Aaron doesn't know yet, but he's never fucking invited back. So
yeah, that's
really unfortunate.
That's a tough one. Tough L for the pod today, chat. Yeah, so he's got the Texans. Corey, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time on this one. My only comment is, why is Joe Mixon still talking about the Bengals? But outside of that, yeah, give me the Texans.
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans. Jags are trash. Todd, do you have anything to add?
So are the Titans, and they lost to them last week.
Ooh.
Give me Jacksonville at home.
Ooh, I gotta scribble it out. I started writing fucking Texans.
Wow. There's a reason he's at the top, ladies and gentlemen. There is a reason he's at the top.
I'm willing to give a game up on this. I've watched the Texans the last 7 weeks get worse and worse as the season goes on. They're not playing good. Both sides of the ball, fellas. They gave up 270 yards to Will Levis last week.
Yeah.
And Tony Pollard ran for $120. And I think between Etienne and Tank Bigsby, they could do the same thing against this defense.
Is Etienne playing?
He is playing.
Okay.
Is Brian Thomas Jr. back, or is he out for the season? I can't remember.
I think he's out. Tank Bigsby is number 2 in Jacksonville.
I
Is
meant
Brian
receiver
Thomas
wise.
Jr. out?
Yeah, that was my
Oh,
I
question.
know that
tight
he
end?
had. No, the wide receiver.
No, the receiver.
First round pick.
Receiver. I don't know. I don't know,
First
ball.
round pick, LSU.
Yep, I don't know, ball.
Leading the rookies and wide receiver.
Yeah,
receiving yard.
he's been crushing it.
No, he
How
is.
do you not know
I
who
don't know,
Brian
but-
Thomas Jr. is?
I don't know, ball.
That's a
Wow.
good question. Honestly, regardless, I don't really think it matters right now. I think we're watching the Texans have a very similar trajectory that Philadelphia had last year. I think I think we're kind of in I feel that way right now. Corey, I know you said this when CJ Stroud went to that all-white party, it really changed him a lot. I think it's like the inflation that he also that fucking meme you sent Sunday was fucking hilarious, by the way. I just
Dude,
it was
that
so
was
funny.
legendary.
Let me see if I can get this up in the chat.
Please
Dude, it was so funny.
Please don't.
It was
Please
so
don't.
funny. It was so funny.
Says
It
CJ
was so
Stroud in
funny.
2024.
It was so funny. Yeah, I think we're watching the Texans regress, and really I think what is happening right now is, and we've talked about it a little bit, like they exceeded our expectations so much last year that they were inflated going into this year, and
They play in a bad division.
right, but we're watching them come back to earth right now,
Yeah.
and like yeah, you're right. I mean, this is the worst division in football, so it's hard to be like, oh yeah, they're going to lose the AFC South, but it's going to be closer than it should be with what their roster looks like. Really,
Yeah.
I think that I think Nico Collins should be a top 10 receiver in the NFL, and obviously he's had some bad luck with some back-to-back, penalties, touchdowns, yeah, all that shit,
Injuries.
But like it's. I don't know. Like I watched that whole game last week with the Titans. It just looks like something is out of sync.
Hold on. I'm reading Ariel. What's up, buddy? Thanks for coming by the show. I am reading your comment as if Dan Campbell said it. All right, men, I'm late today.
Yeah.
I'll send
You
you the
gotta go
winning
20
pick.
feet out in the ocean and put your let a jellyfish piss on your leg before we get these picks out. Something like that. Does that sound like something you would say?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
We're there.
I don't think it's far off. All right, cool. Well, let's move on. We've got the Colts on the road in New England. Obviously, another snoozer in my
This
opinion.
was a sick game 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago,
No,
Peyton, Tom Brady, Marvin Harrison, all that good stuff. Now, not so much. Yikes. That's all I got to say. This is a coin flip. Who's Aaron got?
Aaron is coming in with the Mayflower. Could get frisky here, but Colts are going for the playoffs. Pats are just happy to have and then he didn't finish his sentence. So let's finish it for him, chat. Colts are going for the playoffs. Pats are just happy to have a
Good rookie
A
quarterback.
win on the board.
okay. Pats are just happy to have a seat at the table.
That feels like an Aaron statement.
I don't know. We'll just go on there. And then he'll say something, the straw that stirs the drink.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
But
Okay.
who's he taking?
Colts.
Okay.
I also am taking the Colts for what it's worth. I haven't been on the show since everything went down with Anthony Richardson. I feel like the last time I was on, it was Halloween, and I think I made a little bit of an allusion to this. So let me just go ahead and say this. First of all, Todd and I, we are quarterback whisperers. We were 100% correct. Everything we said about Anthony Richardson before he went into the league was true. Anthony Richardson should have stayed at Florida another year. He should have gotten more experience in college before he went to the league. That's true. Also, simultaneously, I still believe Anthony Richardson has the highest ceiling of any quarterback drafted over the last 2 years. I still believe that. His ceiling is higher than anyone's. Also, adjacently true. The Indianapolis Colts are dry fucking Anthony Richardson's career right now. Bite the pillow, no lube. We're coming in dry. We don't give a fuck about your development. We're going to do whatever it takes to be mediocre for as long as we possibly fucking can so that our fucking GM and our head coach still have a job. That's what's happening right now to Anthony Richardson. He's getting absolutely screwed over by this mediocre organization that has won Super Bowl. Is it ever? Can I say since fucking Johnny Unitas? When's the last time the Colts were fucking meaningful? And they've done nothing of sustenance in this league, and they continue to fuck over another quarterback. Don't worry, I'm gonna let my team have it here in just a little bit. So there's not
the
a whole
Colts have a Super Bowl. Peyton Manning. So
one. Yep, that's
One.
it. That's it. That's it.
You said Johnny Unitas, so I just wanted to
No, prior to Peyton Manning. One
okay.
Super Bowl
Cool.
since
Yes.
Johnny Unitas, and
Yes,
they were
then
in
you're
fucking
correct.
Baltimore then. So I just think the mismanagement of Anthony Richardson is not getting talked about enough. They continue to put him in a position to fail. And I think this is a classic situation where we're going to see this kid pop up with another team in the next 4 years. And we're going to be like, oh my God, Anthony Richardson's back. No, he just had time and people that actually cared about him and developing his career. This guy has played 20 football games since he graduated high school. Can we just allow him to develop? Can you be okay with losing football games as long as your quarterback is getting better? It just doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Or not getting concussed, but yeah.
Right. Give me the
Cool.
Colts.
Todd.
Yeah, give me the Colts. Corey said a really nice thing just now. Thought it was really good.
Thanks, Todd.
I thought he did everything really well there.
Thanks, Todd.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I can't trust the Patriots as far as I can throw them right now. So,
Again,
Ariel, you said Lions,
Drake-
Cowboys, Packers. Chiefs.
Drake May is going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. I just want to make sure I put that sentiment out there.
Ariel, you are caught up, my friend. So
Yeah, and Ariel too. He wasn't here earlier. Make sure you send your picks to Bobby as well. On the other side
please
of this.
just either message
Message us. Yeah,
the
on Facebook.
page or message us individually. One of
We'll
us
get you squared
individually, so
away.
I can at least get them, and I'll get them squared away. Please continue to type in the chat. For some reason, you can't get them to us. That way, I can
Yeah, we
go
like to
back
talk
and
about
find
it.
them all. So
Also, just like to say, if you're swinging by with us on the biggest bar night of the year, thanks for hanging out at
Yeah.
the Rally Towel Sports Bar. And
Yeah.
if you haven't been making picks all season, that's okay. Make some picks.
Yeah,
I
Talk
need to
some
go make
shop
another drink.
with us.
That's what I need.
We
to do.
I still got a third of a bottle of wine left, and we got plenty of football to talk.
Oh no, I'm just saying I need to go make another drink.
No,
so,
no. Go ahead.
What,
Todd and I
what
can
I'm
carry
going to
this
do,
fucking
what I'm
shit.
going to do, is I'm going to go ahead and take us into the next game and
Yep.
let you guys carry it away, and I'll be
Let's
back.
go, baby.
So, next game on the slate, we've got the old Chargers of San Diego, JK of
Can't believe
LA.
Aaron's not here for this episode.
I know, terrible. We got the Chargers on the road in Hotlanta taking on Kirko Chains and the Atlanta Falcons. Kirko Chain's been kind of a disappointment as of late.
Aaron's fucking...
I can't wait to hear what he says. Please do not disclose that until I get back.
All right.
Yeah, Todd, lead us off. Chargers on the road versus the Falcons. Who you got?
Hey, make me a drink while you're up. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks, sweetheart.
I'll let you guys enjoy the nice candy canes behind me.
It's beautiful scenery. I mean,
Yeah,
Shelly
it's
did
nice.
not fucking skimp.
No, she did not. It's actually very
good.
nice.
I mean,
So, are the Falcons actually like fraudulent enemy number one this year, or are we?
I don't know because one, they can absolutely still make the playoff.
Sure, they could go 9-8 and make the playoffs.
Yeah. When I guess the bar has to be high. The reason why they're not, and I think the Texans are, is because the bar is higher and the Texans' record is better. But yet, if the Texans and Falcons played right now, I think it's a coin flip. I don't think we
Yeah.
know who wins that football game. But yet the
That's fair.
Texans are perceived as better, thus they are more fraudulent, right?
Yep.
We
Yep.
just
that's
worked out
fair.
a logic problem. Welcome to our university class. Okay. We should be charging tuition.
It is wild though to watch a team like I think the Seahawks are kind of in a similar category to where the Falcons are right now. Where
Absolutely. Absolutely.
like you watch them put together a symphony of offense. And you're like, holy shit, this is
Dude.
great.
Speaking on the Seahawks, my under on their 7.5 wins is hanging on by a fucking thread.
It's a
dude.
fucking thread, dude.
It started out so bad, but it's just coming on strong.
You're
like
cruising right now.
Like a freight train, dude. Like a freight train.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know, man. The Falcons are it's just wild to me that all these weapons exist in Atlanta and they're not productive. They're consistently productive.
Yeah.
Like, I think Drake London has had really one of the better seasons of any wide receiver in football this year.
Yes.
And no one is talking about that.
Nope.
Like, very sure-handed, catching, like getting receptions
tough.
and
He's
tough receptions. And no one's talking about how talented he's been this year because the Falcons are 6-5, and you're like, well, that's not right.
Also, Todd, I think you and I eat a little crow, a little in light of the season, a little humble pie. Jesse Bates is the best safety in the NFL.
Yeah, 100%.
He is. And I think both of us advocated for allowing him to walk. I think both of us would gladly redo that.
It's a poor assessment. It happens.
Well, I just think, it's really easy to say that, and then, when he walks, and then you're expecting production to come, be there, and then he just continues to do it. Actually, he does it even at a higher level, and like it just, it is what it is. It's part of the game, right?
Yeah. Charlie does bring up a good point. So J.K. Dobbins sprained his knee last week. He is going to be out for a little bit.
Yeah, and just want to give a shout out to my man Gus Edwards with that last-minute touchdown, getting me the high point in my fantasy league last week. And Gus Edwards is on my roster now. I'm third in the league. I'm the top scoring team in the league. I got Gus Edwards now, who is RB1 seemingly for the Chargers. And boys, I got Isaiah Pacheco coming back from IR this week.
You're in a good spot.
I'm in a really good spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're feeling good.
Yeah.
Coming out swinging. Todd, who did you take?
We haven't talked
we haven't even talked about picking yet. So with all of that being said about talking about how weird things have been for the Falcons, I am going to take him this week for what it's worth. It could be the wine. I don't know. I could be crying right now, or I could be making picks. I like either option.
See, when I drink a lot of wine, my eyes just get heavy, as you can see. And
right, you got my shoulder, both of you. I have two shoulders, one for each of you.
I'm not sleepy. My eyelids literally just get heavier, I think.
Same.
And I just become a little bit of a silly goose bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wanted to be. I wanted to be a good
Fun.
Substitution for Aaron and get fired up on the wine, but it's not in my.
It doesn't do that to me. I don't.
It makes me the silliest goose. I can't help it.
Oh, I'm. You know what? I'll just have to take one for the team and just have to get wine drunk one of these nights because you guys obviously just don't have the ability to make it happen. So thank you for nothing.
Let me be very clear. I've almost consumed an entire bottle of wine.
I can't help it.
Let me just put this out. When I drink wine, have you seen Pineapple Express? Have you seen that? Pineapple Express. You seen the film? Yes. When I drink wine, I become Bill Hader in the intro to that.
Perfect.
I feel like a nice warm piece of butter on top of a flapjack.
Big old pile of flapjacks. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
So I'm taking the Falcons this week. Super hard, tough battle for the Chargers last week against Baltimore. I think they played them as good as they could have, really.
Yeah.
Falcons are coming off a bye. This just feels like a nice get right week for Atlanta where they're at home. I'm taking into consideration what Charlie's saying here without J.K. Dobbins. I don't think Gus Edwards is J.K. Dobbins, although he is a touchdown machine because he's so good and he's very effective in the red zone.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to point out that I do think by the end of this year, Ladd McConkey will be the best rookie wide receiver in the NFL.
Ooh.
He is
Ripping
the
darts
best
in the casa, bro. It's elite.
He is exactly what Justin Herbert needed in that offense. Really, look at what his productivity is over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Now that they're all on the same page and Justin Herbert's 100% healthy, I think this is. I mean, McConkey is not Keenan Allen. Please don't take what I'm about to say as a parallel, but it is a very nice person to have in that offense to be able to get volume receptions. That's what I'm getting at. He's going to be able to do that.
Do you know you know who I think he plays a lot of football like? Is Robert Woods.
Bobby Trees?
Interesting.
I see Robert Woods when I watch Ladd McConkey, and mostly just because undervalued by the defense.
Yeah.
And seemingly just makes catches.
He's an unbelievable route runner too, by the way.
So is Bobby Trees, man.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like McConkey's probably one of the best route runners in the NFL right now, even as a rookie.
You know what I worry though? We were saying the same thing about Hunter Renfrow back in the day.
I know.
True.
And he was though.
But he was little, and like Ladd also, like he needs to put on weight. Like he needs to do a lot of the things that
he gets the shit kicked out of him every week.
You develop as an NFL player by putting on weight and like you know maturing physically. I think if he can do that coming into next year. Let me go ahead and read Aaron's comment here, and I'll get into my pick. He says, Chargers team is simply playing better football. Don't care that the Falcons are coming off a bye. Kirko Chains is back to dry white meat.
Wow.
So he's taking the Chargers over the Falcons. Guys, Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
The guy is balling. He is just absolutely balling right now. And I think you'd just be silly to deny it that the guy is playing really, really, really good football.
So taking the Chargers?
I'm taking the Chargers as well. And I'm fine with J.K. Dobbins being out because I think this offense runs through Justin Herbert and he is excelling. He's excelling. Honestly, you have to give credit to Jim Harbaugh. He makes his quarterbacks better. He just
does. And also, I said this last week, Corey. I think Zach Minter is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL right now.
Hard to say otherwise.
Because this is the same defense, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. This is basically the same defense from last year, right?
I would say even less star-studded.
Best defense in the NFL.
Pretty wild.
Boys, I'm gonna give Kirko Chains one more try at 1:00. I've kind of been on this trend this year where, I've kind of taken him on the 4:00 and later games, and every time I take him at 1:00, he just throws up a dud. Yeah. Absolutely throws up a dud. This also is a 1:00 game on a Sunday. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's been going on. He used to be the 1:00 king, and now he, since going to Atlanta, he is excelled in prime time. So this will be if they lose, this will be the last time this year. I don't care if they're playing the fucking Panthers. I'm not taking the Falcons at 1 o'clock. Won't do it.
Wow.
So I'm going to take the Falcons this week.
That's just like for you. That's an unfair litmus test because the Chargers are a good team. You know, like if they falter,
but the Falcons are just super talented. You know,
yeah.
You guys said it. Like they've got the best defensive back in the league. They've got all kinds of weapon on the offensive side of the ball. They should be able to really compete with anybody that's in the NFL at this point.
Sure.
You know, Kirk Cousins, as much as he's not a top 5 quarterback, you know, he's definitely in the conversation of being a top 10 quarterback and really shouldn't have an issue getting the ball to these guys, especially when you've got as much talent as they have on that side of the ball. So I think this is a fair litmus test, if I'm being honest, Corey.
Okay.
You're going up against a great team, and the Falcons in their own right should be in that same conversation with the talent that they have on that roster. So yeah, I'm going to take the Falcons this week, and if they don't get it done at 1 o'clock, then I will not be taking the Falcons at 1 o'clock from this point moving forward. So,
all right. You heard
it
first, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice even split here for us. We got 2 with the Falcons, 2 with the Chargers.
About time.
Yeah. Moving forward, we got the Seattle Seahawks on the road in New York. New York obviously reeling at this point. The Jets, we're speaking of. Aaron Rodgers done for the year. Yeah, I mean New York as a whole. Just not a good football town, in my opinion. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Like you look at it in the grand scheme of things, they've had some success, you know, in regards to the Giants. You know, when Eli was there twice. Other than that, it hasn't been great. It is what it is. At least in our lifetime. So, yeah, Seahawks on the road and on the Jets. I'm taking the Seahawks on the road here, boys. I'll lead it off. Taking the Seahawks on the road. Corey, who you got?
Let's start it off with Aaron. He's saying, you know what? You know what I'm thankful for? Aaron Rodgers' irrelevance. Seahawks over Jets. I can't wait for the Aaron Rodgers podcast. It's going to be great. It's going to be unhinged.
It's going to be really good.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be funny. He is going to say things about the NFL that we probably haven't heard before, things that he probably can't say at this current time. I have a soft spot in my heart for Aaron Rodgers because it has nothing to do with anything outside of football. Let me be very clear about that. But I think Aaron Rodgers is probably one of my favorite players that I've ever watched play football. Just because I really, what I hope doesn't happen is we just forget how absolutely fucking cold-blooded this dude was. Like every week he was just slaying people. And that's how I will always remember Aaron Rodgers. I will remember the Percocet game forever.
Oh, yeah.
I will remember that forever, ever. Like Aaron Rodgers is out for the game. Comes back second half, 3, they're down fucking 21, and he leads them back to win the fucking game. And he is on fucking Neptune during his post-game interview. I'll never forget that. That. I love the way that he throws the ball better than anybody that I've ever seen throw a football.
For sure.
So that said, I think Aaron Rodgers will probably retire at the end of this season. I don't see where else it goes from here. He has said that he will play again, but I don't know. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense. Anyway, we were talking about this earlier. My Seahawks future keeps looking better and better. I took the under on 7.5. It's creeping up, but I think they get win number 7 this week against the Jets. Give me the Seahawks.
Sure. Who does Aaron have this week?
He has the Seahawks.
All right, Todd.
Yeah, Seahawks. Hit me.
Perfect. All right. Let's not spend too much time on this next game. We got the Commanders at home.
Bobby, would have been
against
so
the,
funny if you're like Steelers Bengals.
Yeah, no. That's the next game on the slate. But Titans on the road versus Commanders. I'm assuming we all got the Commanders. Anybody have any thoughts on this one?
Aaron took the time to write it up, so I might as well read it. Their slide has to end, right? Cliff Kingsbury team's first half of the year win 65%. Second half, 25%. Don't think it matters here, but found it interesting. Cliff is the after Thanksgiving dump. Commanders over Titans. I like it. I like that pool.
Yeah.
Good one. It's a good stat.
Good stat.
I'm riding with Aaron on this one. Give me the Commanders.
Yeah.
Cool. Quick and easy. All right. Now
Ariel taking the Titans.
I like it.
Wow. All right. Nice little upset here. Well, we'll save the Steelers Bengals for the last 1 o'clock game, so we can at least get into the other one before we spend some time on the last. So we got the Cardinals on the road versus the Vikings. The Vikings just signed Daniel Jones.
Danny Dimes
going to Minnesota. Don't know if he's probably won't start this week. Probably more of a
He's back.
Considering it's back up this week. Obviously, in
back up forever.
Of,
I didn't mean it in a bad way. I'm just saying just don't take Sam Darnold out.
Depends on Sam Darnold's health. I mean, it kind of brings into question: is he actually healthy? I know that's been a big question mark these last couple of weeks. Like, has he really been healthy when they've been on the field? And they've struggled like severely. I mean, obviously Jordan Addison did not struggle last week in any way, shape, or form. Dude went off. But they're going to be taking on the Cardinals. Obviously, we are post Call of Duty release, and that's kind of where we're at this point. So. Yeah, don't bet on the bird after the bird, and this will be after the bird. So, Corey, I'll let you lead this one off, sir.
I got to stick with my theory, man.
This is your realm.
I think this is the biggest test of my theory that we've had in a while because the Cardinals actually have been playing pretty good football other than last week. I think this is like one of the biggest tests of the theory, and so I'm going to stick with it. Right? I'm going to be the control, and we'll test the hypothesis. I will take the Vikings over the Cardinals. Aaron saying, take the better team here. Not going to overthink it. The bird's been cut. Vikings over Cardinals for Aaron as well. So, yeah, I mean, I just don't want to, coming into the season, I didn't think the Cardinals were going to be a very good football team. I think they've flashed a lot this year. But I still don't think they're a winning football team. So I think the Vikings roster, whether or not Sam Darnold is healthy, top to bottom, is still one of the best rosters in football. And their record is who they are at this point. They aren't the Lions. They're not a perennial team in the league by any means. Their record isn't that indicative of who they are. But they're better than the Cardinals. So give me the Vikings.
Sure. I'm taking the Vikings this week. I'm gonna roll with the theory, and also I just think that the Vikings are the better of the two football teams. So, Todd, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings too, but just one note for the Cardinals. Trey McBride quickly emerging into a conversation as being one of the best tight ends in football. I think that's just something to note, right?
Yeah.
Like giving him a year to learn about being in the NFL.
It's
he had Zach
ends.
Ertz he had Zach Ertz for a good part of last year too, which, if you've listened to him talk about it, he said that's the best influence that he's ever had in his football career ever, is having a guy like Zach Ertz teaching him how to be a tight end, and like just the humility of the tight end position. That's kind of his focal point of it. The Cardinals are a couple pieces away from us talking about them in the next couple of years of being like a real football team that we're talking about winning the NFC West. It's very close. It's very, very close.
Is the NFC
And also,
West on
They've
the
got a lot of young
verge?
talent on that roster.
Are they on the verge of becoming like the NFC South pretty soon?
I think so.
Right? Because like
You're gonna
Seattle,
have-
we don't really know what Seattle is gonna like.
Well,
What's their
Gino's gone after
direction,
this year anyway.
right? Like, what's their direction in Seattle? What is like the Rams? Like, how long can Matthew Stafford play football? Like Todd already talked about San Francisco, and the potential of maybe even needing a rebuild in San Francisco, which is just fucking crazy because they're in the Super Bowl
Too
last
much money.
year.
They're a salary cap hell, just like the Saints are after this year.
So it's just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. All right, boys. Well, we got a big one on Sunday. We got the Steelers coming into Cincinnati, take on the old Benjis. What a just tale of two teams this year. Cincinnati with one of the most high-powered offenses in the league, if not the most, putting up tons of points. Losing more? Like they've lost more one-score games this season than I think they've lost in the last 4 or 5 years. It's been pretty nuts. Steelers seem to be getting it done on the defensive side of the ball. We've been able to put points on the board, but we're winning close games and also lost a couple of close games just because we could not put points on the board. So I have no idea where this game's going to end up on the spectrum. I really don't. Like it could be a shootout. It could be
Autistic.
it could be a 13-10 game. Like I have no idea where it's going to land. I'm very excited to watch the game. I'm also very nervous and stressed already. My biggest thing is that with these divisional games, there's gonna I feel like they always split, and it's just picking the right split.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you guys laughing at me?
No,
not you.
I'm a massive pile of shit.
You said something. Yeah, you said something about a spectrum, and Corey goes, "Yeah, autistic," and I don't.
I did hear it. I heard that. I just ignored it.
Okay,
I chose to ignore it.
You were in a really nice lead.
You're in a groove.
I'm
we're drunk on wine.
I'm just toasty enough that all I heard was autistic, and I got the giggles. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. It derailed it. I'm really sorry.
I'm a piece of shit. Sorry.
Well, see, this is where for Corey and I, it's to laugh, to not cry.
The sillies.
The floor is yours, gentlemen.
You got the Steelers, Bob?
I'm torn. I'm taking the Steelers this week.
That's fair.
Why? Why?
Because
Vibes?
I don't like him.
Okay. All right.
It's kind of like when Michael wants Toby fired. He's like, "You need cause, Michael." He's like, "I do have cause. It's because I don't like him.
Okay.
That's why."
All right.
No, it's just strictly vibes. I think TJ Watt's got something to prove after last week and getting absolutely derailed by Cleveland.
Which is crazy because their offensive line sucks.
Yeah, which was nuts to me because
I talked about it.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be this big showdown between Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, and Myles Garrett showed up, and TJ Watt was just like, "Hey, you're doing a great job, fella. Keep doing it." I'm like, "Where the hell's TJ?" And he just never showed up. So, dude needs to show up this week. That's all I got to say. I love TJ. I think he's one of the best players in the league, but he needs to show up this week. And what better time to do it than in Cincinnati against a division rival? We got a tough back half of the season. So he definitely needs to have a big game. I think Russell Wilson played some pretty good football last week, and he has been since he took over the starting job. But if we really want to get things going, we're going to have to get Najee Harris and Jalen Warren both heavily involved. And I think Jalen Warren had a really nice week last week, but Najee Harris was kind of absent. So if we can get them both involved, get that running game going, and as long as George Pickens doesn't get into a fight with a fan or a referee or a cheerleader or something, I think we can get something decent going.
He is my least favorite player in football right now, by the way.
Oh, he's also mine. Don't get it twisted. He's on my team, but I'm not I have been a proponent of having him get traded for something.
You are right. I agree.
What is it about? Why? I mean, I don't know.
I think
it's his character, dude.
No, not George Pickens specifically. And maybe I'm picking low-hanging fruit here, but I just feel like it's Steelers wide receivers. I don't know.
No, you're absolutely right. They just go bananas. I don't get it.
I don't know what it is.
We're able to pick these amazing people in the third, fourth round beyond. We're able to go deep and find these guys, but they're all fucking nut jobs.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. Can you just be a humble human being that has the humility to just go out there and block for somebody? Baker Mayfield, when he's fucking sprinting down the field 50 yards to make a block for his running back.
That was cool. Dumb, but that was pretty cool.
Just be that guy. As a receiver. That's the kind of shit that gets me going.
Fuck yeah.
Just be that guy.
Yeah.
We just can't ever find those people at receiver.
He wasn't that at Georgia either. He's been the same person.
That's what I was gonna say. This is
I would say the closest person we had to that was Juju. Because Juju fucking rocked Vontaze Burfict. After Vontaze Burfict fucked up Antonio Brown. No, I just meant as far as somebody who's willing to go lay their body out for the team.
Sure.
Juju's the most recent.
Yeah, but Juju was also a fucking psychopath.
He was, but he at least fucking put his body on the line.
So is it a Pittsburgh thing then? Because he hasn't done that anywhere else. Is that a humility thing where
could be? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what the sauce is, but all I know is it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Taking Pittsburgh, strictly off vibes, just because I want to roll with my team this week against the Benjis. So
yeah,
taking Pittsburgh.
Why are we favored in this game?
It doesn't make any sense because they just lost to the Browns. But look at the money on this game though, where it's favoring.
It's all on Pittsburgh.
It's all Pittsburgh.
That makes me feel better, actually. I feel like Vegas isn't going to take a loss. You know what I mean? I don't know. Same reason I don't think the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. It's because all the money's on the Lions to win the Super Bowl. I don't know. I don't know. Let's read Aaron's comment here before we get into it. Extra rest for Pitt, and thank God for TJ Watt, who decided to get stuffed a week early. Do I think they are going to lose back-to-back weeks against the two worst teams in the division? I do not. Steelers over Bengals. That's Aaron's comment, not mine. Todd, catch me up. Last 3 weeks I've been out. What have we been talking about our boys?
So I think a big focal point that I made a couple weeks ago was secondary production.
Lack thereof, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, on the opposite side of that.
Bobby, real quick, you're right about Cam Taylor-Britt.
Yeah, he was right. We talked about that too.
You were right.
Yeah, we talked about that 2 weeks ago, didn't we? When it was just you and I. I gave you your flowers on that.
Yeah,
I apologize. I said Corey and I fought for CTB to the end of time, and
could you pick a worse time to regress? Could you pick a worse time to regress?
Yeah. So Corey, basically where I've been,
the chosen one.
Last 3 weeks, it's the best offense in football. It's the best quarterback in football. So
No
Joe
question.
Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah. So
You can't tell me there's no one better than him.
So I've really honestly, offensively, I haven't spent a lot of time talking about him because everything other than interior offensive line has been successful. Even Cody Ford, after like
He
getting
did okay.
he's played good enough, and we should get Orlando Brown back on Sunday, from what I read today.
Optimistic.
Yeah. So nothing really offensively that I've discussed. So this has been. Go ahead.
Also, real quick on that point, Orlando Brown makes Cordell Volson better. Let me just put that out there.
I agree. It's leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah. So defensively, my position has been injuries are horrible. We obviously experienced another one, right? DJ Turner's out for the season. Broken collarbone. That sucks. He played very, very well in the last game. Very good one-on-one, by the way. Has like significantly improved over the season one-on-one. I don't know if you've seen that as well.
Fastest defensive back in football.
Yeah. So now we're talking about Josh Newton and Cam Taylor-Britt again, right? So 5th round cornerback.
Josh Newton's played good football.
He has. So this is where I'm getting at. So you're talking about a 5th round cornerback starting, and then the guy that's given up the most one-on-one or the most targeted yards in the NFL this year. But if we're talking about this game specifically against Pittsburgh's offense, that doesn't feel as much of a threat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's fairly limited when you get into the wide receiver room in Pittsburgh, because you're talking about safety help on George Pickens. It's Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson, Freiermuth, running backs, right? Those are your other receiving options. Mike Williams there now too. I don't see him as much of a threat other than in the red zone. Mike Williams to me now is just a red zone wide receiver. I don't really see him as much of a threat other than that. What I did see out of Pittsburgh in that game against Cleveland that gives me some optimism defensively is that Trey Hendrickson can beat any left tackle one-on-one.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh didn't do a lot of doubling down on Myles Garrett, which is crazy. Like, crazy. Because
it's Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
It's Myles Garrett. On the other side of the edge is not Zadarius Smith anymore. Like, hedge your bets, double team Myles Garrett. I don't know if maybe Pittsburgh makes that adjustment against Trey Hendrickson. I don't know. But one thing I did see, I have seen when healthy, is that I do feel like Sheldon Rankins and BJ Hill, I think this is a 1-year thing. I think they'll cut Sheldon Rankins after this year. That's a different conversation for a different time. If they are going to double down on Trey Hendrickson, I think this is a good Sheldon Rankins game, because I think other than Zach Frazier, the interior offensive line in Pittsburgh struggles. Logan Wilson's a top 5 linebacker in the NFL. That sucks that they're just getting destroyed because he doesn't get his flowers for what he does defensively. So if I'm talking specifically about this week, the running game doesn't feel like Pittsburgh's offense as a whole doesn't feel like a really big threat to Cincinnati's defense, because the things that teams have scored a lot of points on against Cincinnati, Pittsburgh doesn't really do that at all. Right? Like, Philadelphia scored a lot. And Baltimore scored a lot. Russell Wilson's not Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson or Jaden Daniels, even, for that matter, if we're going to go down in that direction. And I think we've really seen in the last couple of weeks, and I think Russell Wilson played fine against Cleveland last week, is he's starting to turn the ball over, which is a little bit more what we're acclimated to over the last 2 or 3 years. And Cincinnati's not bad at takeaways. That's not a thing that they're bad at. They're bad at big plays. And the benefit of them playing is that Cincinnati can play a lot of man coverage on Pittsburgh, and it doesn't hurt as bad. It's not as significant, because I think when they played man coverage against the Chargers, that's the best the third quarter is the best defense I've seen them play all year.
Yeah, Dax isn't there, man.
I understand. I hear you. I understand.
DJ's not there. That's the big thing, is like Russell Wilson's really good at that moon ball, that high arching ball. Like, he's really good at that. That especially against Cam. Although Cam is really, really good at reaching back on those types of balls. It's the ones on a rope, the quick balls that he like. Cam is really he has really good ball skills. He is really good at tracking the football. It's like the quick beats that he gets burned on.
Which is not anything that Pickens runs. Pickens runs sideline. He's a sideline route runner.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of where I stand on this game, right? Like if they're gonna take one at home, this is it. Right? Like they could beat Pittsburgh at home by 3. I think. Because I think Cincinnati can score 27 against Pittsburgh. And I don't know if Pittsburgh can score 30 against right now. And they've done it this year, right? They've done it a couple different times, but the newness of Russell Wilson being the Steelers quarterback has kind of worn off a little bit. Where they scored pretty quickly, frequently when he took over for Justin Fields. Now, I do think if Justin Fields were starting against Cincinnati on Sunday, I would be having a whole different conversation. I think if Justin Fields starts on Sunday, we're talking about them actually like being very effective offensively because of he's not a moonball guy. He's a flamethrower, right? That's his quarterback style.
Yeah,
that would be much more effective against Cincinnati. I think Russell Wilson's style is less effective than Justin Fields, which is why I'm taking the Bengals on Sunday.
All righty, Corey.
Yeah, we've already spent a lot of time on this game, and rightfully so. I mean, we're all fans of these teams. So, but it doesn't make any sense, man. None of it makes any sense. You have the best quarterback in football. You have the best wide receiver in football. And statistically, you have the best pass rusher in football. Why are you 4-7? Like, what the fuck is happening? I will, until we are statistically eliminated, I will have faith because of Joe Burrow. He's that good. He is that good. He's better than Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry, but he is. Andy Reid is 4 times the coach of Zach Taylor. So there you go. That's my why. Would I should be rooting for a loss here? I should be rooting for the Bengals to lose out. Zach Taylor gets fired. Ben Johnson is the next head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, offensive coordinator from Detroit. But I honestly think we match up better. I think we match up well against Pittsburgh. I really do. The defense has stopped the run over the last 6 weeks. The Bengals have played good run defense. I'm going to take the Bengals. I am. I don't just Joe Burrow. That's why. That's why I take they're 4-7. Vegas and Joe Burrow. That's why. That's my why.
There you go. All right. We got 5 games left on the slate.
And you're fading fast, Bobby.
I am fading, so let's try to
Hey, you know what? Stand up and touch your toes. Do it right now. Do it.
touch my toes.
It's well done.
All right. We got Mr. Goodwin's Rams taking things on the road to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Rams obviously coming off 2 tough L's. I'm taking the Rams this week.
Yeah, I hate this football
Saints
game.
are garbage.
I hate this football game, but give me the Rams. I don't really feel that great about it. Let me go ahead and give Aaron's pick here. He says, tough to trust your gut after eating 3 slices of pie. But let's go W, the gut pick here. The Rams over the Saints. It's kind of where I'm lining up on this one. Gut pick, Rams over the Saints.
Yeah. Todd, do you have any objections?
No, sir. I do not.
Excellent. Perfect. The next game shouldn't add too much trouble either. We got the Buccaneers on the road versus the Panthers.
Yeah.
Shout out
Buccaneers.
first pick in the 2025 NFL draft.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you know what? Shout out to Bryce Young.
He's really
Shout out
rebounding.
to Bryce Young. Bryce Young has played pretty good football over the last couple of weeks. And credit to him. Credit to him. Also, real quick, when are we going to hold Duke Tobin accountable, Cincinnati? When is it going to happen? That's all. That's all. I'll say.
Never. It's just not going to happen. When's the last time you saw the city of Cincinnati hold a professional sports team accountable?
You can't draft in the trenches. You've never been able to do it. You haven't done it.
You also
ever.
can't hire coaches in the open field because Marvin Lewis was there for God knows how long, and
16 years.
We kept David Bell for way too long, and it's just something that plagues the city of Cincinnati. Can't hire good coaches. We don't.
It is honestly talent. Like it's exhausting. It really is.
What have I done?
It's a Cincinnati thing.
It's exhausting.
It can't.
It
can't be.
Can't hire good coaches. We don't have enough money to bring in top talent. We don't have enough money to keep.
You got Terry Francona now, baby. Francona.
You literally got the best coach on the market. So
that's it. That's the best thing that's happened to Cincinnati sports in the last 20 years.
We got indoor darts over there.
The Bengals were just in a Super Bowl. Let's not speak.
Tripping indoor darts. Nice. Yeah,
the Bengals were just in a Super Bowl. Can we just not speak hyperbole here? We just talked about the fucking Jaguars not being a rebuild. All right. The Bengals are not that bad. They're not. It can literally be a switch. It can literally be a flip of a switch.
Their defense is that bad.
But I don't think they are. That's the fucked up thing. I don't think they're that. I think they have the horses. They just haven't been putting them in the starting gates, if you get what I mean. There's a lot of young motherfuckers on this team. There's a lot of young motherfuckers on this team that aren't getting to play because they're young. That's it. Tajon Anthony, he's going to be playing. 7th round pick out of Toledo. He's going to be fucking – and he balled, dude. He balled against the Chargers. I just – oh, my God. Can we –
okay. Whatever you say, Chief.
We're not that far off. We're not – statistically, we're not. Look at the losses.
But it's
also, remember we looked at the schedule like this is a pretty favorable schedule. Every loss is to a team with a fucking dope ass record other than the Patriots.
That's fair.
And you get one.
Anthony went to Ole Miss, by the way. You're mixing up him and Tyson Anderson together.
I am mixing up Tyson Anderson. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Ole Miss, 4th round?
7th round. You are right about the 7th round.
7th round. Okay.
Either way.
Sorry.
That's my statistical brain couldn't.
No, I appreciate that, Todd, and you're holding me accountable where the Stag didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. I'm with you right now in this moment.
All
right. Well, on to probably, arguably the best game of the day for Sunday. We got the Eagles on the road versus the Ravens. The Dirty Birds versus the Eagles.
The two worst fan bases in football facing each other, by the way.
What's the over-under on how many people end up hospitalized after this game?
Yep.
Just fans, not players, just fans.
God. Better watch some crabs and fucking on the Baltimore port, dude. It's gonna be fucking crazy. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
Can we talk about how just awful the Giants are, and how hilarious the Hard Knocks is for the fact that they let Saquon go? So Corey, I know. So I did see a stat that I thought might actually be a little bit relevant to one of your previous conversations.
Yeah,
and it has to do with running backs and how your belief is that they're overpaid. I know you know exactly where I'm going.
Not my belief, but go ahead.
So in 1997. Barry Sanders was 15% of the Detroit Lions salary cap. This is 1997. Obviously, inflation is added to this metric. What do you think Saquon's hit on Philadelphia's salary cap is percentage-wise?
So Saquon is getting around 30, so he's probably somewhere in the ballpark of 10%.
Okay, Todd?
6%.
4.8.
Okay,
He is 4.8 of their total salary cap.
cool.
That is like the lowest that it has been for a running back ever.
Not
Like a
again,
premier running back.
not my point, but go on.
So the entire argument of this is that the running back market has severely shifted in the wrong direction.
Mhm.
Like premier running backs, guys like Saquon, like game changers, like went from almost like literally a fifth of the entire salary cap for that season to a 1/20th of the salary cap. Like,
Well, I think our conversation about it was like how it wasn't. I don't think Corey was saying like they're
had nothing to
overpaid.
do with the contract. Here's my argument. Let me go ahead and I'm here. Let me just go ahead and tell you what my point is. Running backs are good, and a good running game is important. What I am here to tell you is that having the best running back in the league does not mean that you are a Super Bowl contender. Why? Running backs don't win Super Bowls. Yes, Derrick Henry, one of the best running backs in the league. He's on one of the best teams in the league. Yes, Saquon Barkley, one of the best running backs in the league, on one of the best teams in the league. You can do this for a few other players. The list goes on. I understand that. Let's just take a trip down memory lane. How many years do we want to go back? I'm comfortable with as many as you are. The Kansas City Chiefs last year, Isaiah Pacheco, rookie contract. The Kansas City Chiefs the year previous, Isaiah Pacheco, rookie contract. The Los Angeles Rams the prior year before that. I don't even fucking know who the running back was there. It definitely wasn't Todd Gurley. The prior year before that, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Leonard Fournette on the end of his career. The year before that, the Kansas City Chiefs, maybe Kareem Hunt, mixed bag there. I don't even know who the fuck their running back was. That's my point. Running back, we can keep going. New England Patriots the year prior, I think it was a LeGarrette Blunt, James White combination there in New England. Philadelphia the year prior. Are we talking shady here? What or who was the running back? In who was it?
DeMarco Murray.
Point proven there. DeMarco Murray. The year before that, New England Patriots. Have they ever had a running back? Denver Broncos in 2016. New England Patriots the year before that. Seattle Seahawks. Marshawn Lynch. There we go. What year is it? It's 2024. So one out of the last 10 Super Bowl champions have had a top tier running back. That's it. That's it. And my point is not that running backs aren't important. My point is that running game is important. Yeah, a top tier running back makes that way easier. But the market for running backs is justified because the league has proven that everything else is way more important. A quarterback, way more important. An edge rusher, way more important. And a top tier wide receivers, way more important. Lockdown corners, all of this stuff is way more valuable than a running back. You can supplement production with who'sy whatsy guys, as proven by the Super Bowl champions. And I don't think the drop off between a top tier guy and a guy just below that, or like a guy that you probably don't even know. Like some of these running backs that aren't getting really paid top tier money are still producing at a high level. Chase Brown is producing at a high level, but he's at a rookie contract. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole point on running back. It's not that they're not valuable. It's not that the running game doesn't matter, because I'm actually I start seeing the running game becoming even more valuable as you start seeing that too high shell from these defenses. The running game absolutely is important. My point is just that I would much rather pay top tier money for a wide receiver or a corner or an edge rusher than spend similar money on a singular running back when I can replicate that production elsewhere, including the short and intermediate passing game.
Sure. With that being said, I take the Eagles or the Ravens.
Oh, this is fucked. What's Aaron got to say? Guys, because we
Easy cop out.
weren't very big on the Eagles earlier this year,
No,
right?
We weren't.
since the bye week though, I think you can make an argument that they've been one of the
Oh,
most
this is
productive
so
teams in
apt.
football.
This is so appropriate. This is so appropriate. It's 80s and 90s football, baby. Running backs are back. Don't trust the Ravens even after Monday. I'm eating crow, turkey on the Eagles, but I still think the Lions are in a class above themselves in the NFC. He's taking the Eagles over the Ravens here, boys.
All righty. Who do you have, Corey?
I'm following suit. I'm taking the Eagles here as well, simply for the fact that I think the Ravens offense is very, very good. Lamar's playing amazing. Derrick Henry put up 140 yards last week. Like, it's crazy. But I think that the gap that's made up by the Ravens offense over the Eagles offense, I think that gap is smaller than the Eagles defense versus the Ravens defense, if that makes sense. Like, I think the Eagles defense is better than the Ravens defense by so much that it supplements the gap between their two offenses. So give me the Eagles in this one.
All right, Todd.
Yep, give me the Eagles. I like them in this matchup better. I think they're behind the Lions. They're the hottest team in football right now.
They are. Man. I'm going to take the Eagles this week just because I want to see the Ravens lose. But obviously, this is a game that I believe could go either way.
Yeah, 100%.
So, no logic outside of just wanting to see the Steelers continue to hold that top spot in the AFC North.
Like your Pittsburgh accent there, as you said, Stellars. But
yeah,
Steelers.
Tez with a comment here talking about football of yesteryear and how running backs were like a big part of winning Super Bowls. And I don't disagree with that at all. And actually, I can see this shifting back very soon, like within the next 5 years. I can see running backs.
The running back class of this year that's coming into the league, I could very much see that.
I can very much see my whole point is that the number that running backs are getting is justified. And if a running back is demanding top tier money, don't pay him. Like right now, that makes a whole lot of sense. I just think it makes a whole lot of sense from a cap perspective based on where other positions are evaluated.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Let's move on to Sunday night. We got the 49ers on the road versus the Bills.
Give me the Bills. I mean, this is a this is a team that's reeling versus a team that's rolling, in my opinion. Give me.
I don't think Brock Purdy plays Sunday night either, by the way, for what it's worth.
Ouch.
Aaron, have any wise comments for this one?
I don't think we see Nick Bosa either.
It says the Bills have quietly just taken care of business this year. Continues here. Grandma got run over by Josh fucking Allen. Bills over 49ers.
MVP Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? It's got to be the year.
Yeah.
Unless Burrow wins 6 straight. It's the only way he doesn't get it.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate that Joe's finally having the best season of his career, and it's accompanied by a 4-7 record. So, tough pill to swallow, boys. Sorry that you have to do it.
No, you're not.
I am because I like you guys.
Thanks,
man.
I don't
ever want to see you guys suffer.
I don't like you. I love you.
It's fine. It's fine. I love you guys too. All right. Monday night. Let's wrap things up. We got Aaron's Browns on the road in Denver against Bo Nix. I don't even think it's arguably at this point. He has been the best rookie quarterback in this class. I personally don't think it's close. But Corey, I seem like you got something to say, so lead us off.
I don't know, man. I just feel I'm feeling good. I get them wrong sometimes, guys, right? I got Cam Taylor-Britt wrong at the beginning of the year. I got Josh Rosen wrong at the beginning of his career. I don't know. I've just been hit. Jaden Daniels, hit. Bo Nix, hit. CJ Stroud, hit. It feels good. It feels Jordan Love seems to be trending in my way. Like, it just feels good to be right about things. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to get a couple dubs under the belt.
Yeah. Yeah. I got an over on the Broncos that I'm waiting to cash out. Once the regular season, wraps up here. This is another win. This is another win for Denver.
Sure.
Let me just go ahead and say this. Jameis, I am a Bengals fan and a Florida Gators fan. So Jameis Winston should be my arch nemesis as a Seminole and Cleveland Brown. He is my favorite person in the entire league. It's not close. He is a beautiful soul. I love listening to him talk. If he started a church tomorrow, I would attend. Yeah, I'd go. And he is unadulterated joy all times. He loves playing football, and I couldn't be happier to just like watch this person exist right now. Like he's just having so much fun, and I'm having so much fun watching him have so much fun in a season that's lost. You know what I mean? This means nothing in terms of you know what I mean? Like the Browns aren't going to the playoffs.
This is one more year for Jameis.
It's just I'm playing football, man. I'm playing football.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I grew up. I thought my passion was football, but I realized that my passion is playing football. I don't know, man. He's the best. He's the best. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Yeah, he
give me
definitely is not a man short of quotes. So, yeah, Todd, who you got?
Jameis is 7 of his last 9 wins have been against divisional opponents, by the way, for what it's worth.
Wow.
Which is just fucking hilarious.
Wow.
The Broncos are not in the AFC North, so I will take them this week. Just taking the Broncos.
Just because.
Taking the Broncos.
You're right there,
Bob. Yeah, I'm just trying to decide what I want to do here.
It was a long blink last time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a long blink. I'm tired. I've been up since 2 a.m. So, yeah, we're approaching 21 hours.
Threat level midnight, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a tough one. Myles Garrett coming off arguably one of the best performances of his entire career. He put on an absolute fucking clinic last week, and it was really frustrating to watch from my side of the ball. I'm sure you guys enjoyed every second. But fuck. Because I really like what Bo Nix is doing, but the defense of Cleveland is pretty stellar as well. So, I'm going to take Denver.
There you go.
This is just a guttural pick.
You found the keys. Good
there's
job.
There's not any logic, any way, shape, or form here. I got a feeling Denver's going to win.
Well, your logic is that it's a 8-5 football team, or what are they? What are they fucking? I don't know. 8-3. I mean, 7-5. Yeah, that's your logic. They're a better football team. Yeah.
Yeah, just hop through the vent and the side and just get after it. So, who's Aaron got?
Oh, good question. Let me pull that up. In bowling 3 strikes is a turkey. Reigning defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett had a turkey, more sacks than TJ Watt last week.
There it is.
But I have watched every Browns game this year, and I have no idea who the hell they are. I know who the Broncos are, and they get the dub. Broncos over Browns.
Wow.
He's a humble man. He's disassociating. Hey, Cavs are playing good basketball. Aaron's ready.
They got beat today. They got beat by the Hawks.
Aaron's they still have like they're still a number one in the East right now. Like he's riding high. He's feeling good. It's basketball season for Aaron.
Yeah, it is basketball season. But yeah, they took it out.
Happy Thanksgiving, Tez.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Yeah, this has been quite a long show. A little bit above where we usually go, but
We've all been drinking, so it happens.
Yeah, it's fine. Appreciate everybody swinging through. This is always one of our more fun shows. We get to sit and talk about family, food, football, so everything that's important. Do you guys have anything else you want to add before we close it out here?
Watch Boise State Friday at noon on Fox.
I'll be watching Bowling Green, Miami at noon on Friday. So
2 screens.
ESPN Plus. Be watching that one. Big Mac game. Let's see. College basketball. I mean, we're right around the corner from talking about college basketball. I'm ready to talk about it. I'm excited to talk about it. Todd, we both got some good basketball teams this year. It's going to be a lot of fun when the boys meet up in the O-Dome and Rupp. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll just preface that as Bobby falls asleep on stream.
Yeah, trying not to.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Everyone have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. We love you guys. We're thankful for all of you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Peace out.